Guys, Justin Brock here of Medicare Gurus, and today I got a real Bradley style special treat for you. I got Ryan Loede in the house. Ryan Loede, man, what is going on? What are you up to today? You're looking fresh.
What is going on, brother? Appreciate you having me on.
Man,
Look forward to dropping some knowledge.
I hope so, man. I'm watching you on Instagram blow up all this stuff, and I'm trying to follow suit on Instagram. Hopefully I can help you with a little YouTube traction over here. So yeah. Ryan is, there's just nobody like this guy. He is very, very attentive to his schedule, has very, very attentive to his personal health, and takes things extremely serious, like as far as what is time management and getting the right things done and not wasting time. I don't think there's anybody that is as serious about it that I've met, or at least in the insurance industry, as he is. I mean, Ryan, would you agree? You take that kind of stuff real serious?
No, absolutely. I take everything as serious as I can be, because life in general is serious. And if we want to attain success in the amounts that we want, in order to not just help ourselves, but also share that with other people, we have to get serious with things. So I'm a super, like you said, super disciplined and consistent guy. I'm very, very, very hard on myself.
Yeah.
I believe that it's super important to be the hardest person that you can be on yourself. No one can be as hard on ourselves besides ourselves. So I hold myself to such a high standard. And the reason why is because I'm always studying these highly successful people, just like yourself, Justin. Like I'm studying these like 8, 9, 10-figure earners and just viewing what they do, the actions they take, how they operate, and just really like honing into what helped them get to where they're at.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think you're blessed with a good mindset and an exorbitant amount of energy. And then when you put the proper fuel in that vehicle, it's like some people are blessed with a good vehicle, right? Like let's say you were born into a Ferrari, but if you dump like milk in the gas tank instead of 93 octane gasoline, the Ferrari is not going to do much for you, right? So I think a lot of people look at somebody like you and they think, oh, that's a default mindset, and you're going with it and you're blessed with it. But I see, by being around you, not only the quality of the things that you consume, like food and vitamins and things like that, but content and everything you're pouring into your mind and your body makes that Ferrari operate at at a high capacity, right? And so how old are you right now, Ryan?
23 years young.
23, man. 10 years younger than me. And see, people still think I'm like, I go places at 33, people are like, oh, you're so young to be 33 again. But I look at you and I see what they're saying, because I'm thinking the same thing. Man, I wish I had some of the things you have going for you at 23 going at 23. I got into the industry at 26, which was young by the accounts of the industry. We're an old industry, right? And so I have to think that you're finding the insurance industry as a medium to get where you want to right now. But just in knowing you, I think you probably have grander aspirations even past that. Do you have any idea what that is, or are you just living in the now trying to figure out how to scale what you have going for you? Or is the insurance industry it? You want to take the whole industry over? What does life look like 10 years from now to you?
10 years from now, got an 8 to 9 figure agency. They're doing life, doing Medicare as well. Got really good relationships with Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, Bradley, Coach Burt, obviously, as I do right now. And I'm throwing events, masterminds, boot camps, literally like the most top-notch events, masterminds, boot camps, and I'm also going to have the most in-depth, result impacting training platform within the entire insurance industry. So that's something that I'm working on right now,
Yeah.
and I'm really going to go hard with. I'm going to be loading Lightspeed VT. That's where I'm going to start building a relationship with Brad, and start walking my way into that circle, and just really load it up with thousands of segments, and
Yeah.
really change something, because I think that's one gray area within the insurance industry and within life in general, is that once we leave high school, college, whatever it might be, we think we don't need to learn anymore. But that is the most incorrect statement I've ever heard. Everyone should be learning every single day. The moment we stop learning is the moment we stop growing. So that's something I'm moving towards. And yeah, just really focus on growth within the agency and expanding, finding those right key people.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're doing the Lightspeed stuff for some of the stuff. Just actually, most of it's taking what we've built and trying to use. It's a great system, the interactive learning aspect of it, and add to it. And I also get paying for access to certain circles. I was a cynic early on and as there are many online cynics that are cynics of events, or cynics of paying for access, or networks, or other people that are doing big things because they think, oh, it's at the expense of others, or blah 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 blah. Huge cynic, right? I like to think that sometimes some people like yourself, I feel like, have the right mindset, and the mindset creates the opportunity. I was like the reverse. I did not have a good mindset. And anybody that's read some of the stuff that I've put out, or like I have a new book coming out, talk about the mindset for me was actually crushed by the military. The military is great in for a lot of things. Now, I always have to preface, I'm not bashing it, but they kind of want you to become this drone, right? And so you kind of, they almost crush your aspiration, because it's all about this thing, right? The military, this you're a cog in that machine. So when I finally got out of the military, it took a while for me to unlock the mindset that I have now, which is much different, and it continues to change all the time by getting in the right room in the right place. But the opportunity changed the mindset. I got into Medicare from the get-go, and all I thought, like, hey, I just want to replace my income, and I'll be fine. I'll be able to take care of my family. That's all I want. It was just a noble thing. There's nothing wrong with that for people that's what they want. But the opportunity was so grand in Medicare that I was like, wow, I could scale this so much further than I thought. Replacing my income is easy, super easy. Then I started getting into the right room to figure out, well, how are these people doing things in a more efficient way than I am? And by getting in those rooms with people, it changed my mindset forever. And so for you, I do think you probably had a good default mindset, but getting in the rooms with bigger and bigger and bigger people just probably unleashes like this thought potential that other people can't even understand. And they probably think we're weird and lunatics and that kind of stuff. It's stupid. But to think that you can be a billionaire or make $100 million a year or have that kind of business 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I wasn't thinking like that at all. Now I'm thinking, if I don't have $100 million a year business, I must be a loser because it just seems like that's the trajectory that I'm on, just by continuing to do what I like to do. I like to do it. It makes me happier to work harder. So, anyway, and I think
Yeah,
that you
I
have a
mean,
lot of that.
that's a thing that really holds a lot of people back, is it's those limitations. It's like you said, that mindset, like they're out here just to get my money. You know, just those negative, viewpoints of events, conferences, masterminds. Like, the way I look at it is, and I'm not even gonna lie, when I was traveling to Vegas this past weekend or 2 weeks ago for the 8-figure mastermind, for a second I was like, man, like, again, another event, another mastermind, another thing. You know, I committed to it back in January at the 1% mastermind with Cody Askins. That was phenomenal. And and after that, I was like, let's roll. Let's go to this 8-figure mastermind. But as I was going to the airport, I'm like, oh, man, another one. Is this going to be good? Like me personally, I have like, I think we have that positive mindset as we're growing, right? But as we grow up through teachers, through parents, you know, relationships that we build, friends, acquaintances, whatever it might be, like we start to get that negativity starting to be pushed into our mind. So what's happening is that negativity is pushing out all that positive aspect, that positive viewpoint, that positive mindset that we should have. And we're getting filled with that negativity. So I even still have it. I'm still working on it myself. So like I said, I was going to the 8-figure mastermind and I was like, man, is this going to be good? Da, 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 da. Like just having these bad thoughts in my mind for whatever reason. Right. But in the long run, at the end of it, I'm like, man, I'm glad I went. I'm glad I committed, because it could be that one relationship, that one piece of information, idea, process, strategy, that one connection that could literally change the entire course of your life. And it's only the only thing that's holding you back from getting that one thing that could change the entire course of your life is putting money on the line, money that's not even yours. And this is a big thing that I think about all the time. Like whenever I see myself pulling back from spending money, investing money, whatever it might be, putting money on the line, I remind myself that this isn't even my money. I accumulated this from other people. This is not my money. And basically what I'm doing is I'm putting it back into the marketplace, investing it. Like it's kind of like creating an economy. So I'm a huge believer in cash flow. It's not just cash coming in, it's also cash going out in order to keep that cash coming in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We just, we buy rental properties right now, and I just had to drop another, 25,000 into one. But it just, to me, it honestly, I got to the point now when I drop money into something like that, or lead flow, or, the infrastructure of my office, or, staff, gets to the point where I get excited about it. Cause I'm like excited about, cause I've already seen it happen to where the investment in that comes back tenfold or fivefold or whatever it is, it's coming back in multiples. And then also building me out of the grind, like the singular grind. So like like last year, even I was still writing, applications myself. Now we finally got the sales team going enough to where they're producing more than they were when I was writing too, without me writing anything, which has been a great thing, because now I can focus on another level of stuff. And now I'm thinking, okay, now I have to build in another level of infrastructure where I have more people in the managerial level or operations, and accounting, to build me further and further out of that, so that I can focus on creating these high-end relationships where I'm spending more time with, guys like Bradley or Tyler Reese, or some of, that I'm spending more time in those circles, and building bigger and more meaningful, higher potential relationships that feed my apparatus that I've built. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I don't, and a lot of people, I'll see them say, well, I don't want to build, like we're doing these behind the agency events, and the behind the agency event is a small event where people will come in, 15 people max, come in, and basically we show them everything we're doing. Everything. I mean, it's a behind the curtain. Here's every lead flow system we have. Here's all of our computer systems. This is, what we're doing. And I've had a couple people that say, well, I don't want to build an agency. And I'm like, okay, like, well, so you want to be an individual great salesperson. Well, you could learn that here too. But I can promise you that when you maximize your individual sales potential, the people that maximize their individual sales potential want to build an agency. Now, there are people that never maximize their individual sales potential, and that's probably because of a limited mindset or a limited belief, because I believe that the secret to being happy is pursuing, the happiness. Pursuing what gives me dignity is growing and creating more wealth and accumulation for everybody that's involved. Like when I grow a team, that team is getting fed from my efforts too. It's not all about me.
Yep.
Now, I mean, I want to grow my wealth too exponentially, but I love doing it when I'm helping other people grow their wealth, on the back of part of my efforts. I love that. It feels gratifying. It doesn't feel gratifying. Like you rob a bank, that wouldn't be gratifying. This is why people that win the lottery end up filing for bankruptcy 2 years later. It's not gratifying to have it given to you. It's gratifying to create wealth. When you really create it, you feel like you deserve what you have because you've seen other people prosper in the pursuit of that wealth. And I think that, you are doing that. Where your positive mindset comes from is that you're out putting in the individual incremental work and doing things that make you feel happy about what you're accumulating, and the process of accumulating more excites you. I mean, am I on the right track?
100%, brother. And the aspect about growing and expanding and bringing people onto your team, like you can't do everything by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't survive through longevity by yourself. I mean, if you keep working by yourself, trying to handle everything by yourself, like you're only going to be able to get so far as like results go, and revenue, creating things in your life. And you're only going to get so far yourself. Like, dude, if I've been working only by myself the entire time I was in the insurance industry, I would have failed.
Yeah.
100%. And if I continue to try to work by myself and not be willing to ask for help and willing to ask for guidance and direction from other people who have what I have and been where I want to be, then man, I'm just going to be literally destroying my body, myself. Like, it's just not possible. And in order to really, like you're saying, to really fulfill ourselves and really like get that gratification, like it's just not about ourselves. Anyone on this world, anyone that has a bigger purpose, has an attachment to helping people, to giving to people, to sharing with them something that they don't know so they can get somewhere where they don't think they could even get. And that's the magic of it, is like just allowing people to see like you're capable of so much more, your potential so much higher. Let me show you something. Let me see if this impacts your life. I guarantee it will. And let's work on it. As long as you're teachable, coachable, you're a right person, you're ethical, you want to put in the hard work, it's going to happen. And I mean, anyone that's focused on this just themselves, I mean, straightforward, you're selfish. You're
Yeah.
selfish in the long run, because if you're only focused on just getting enough for yourself, you might be able to help your family, your children, your wife, maybe your mother, your father, some other people as well. But if you want to help other people, you can't just be focused on yourself. If you want to share that opportunity with other people, and that's what we should be aspiring to do, we should be so focused on just growth and expansion, because without that, we can't help other people.
Yeah. Yeah. I talked to, even like people that are heavily involved in ministry, and, some of the people that are involved in the incremental side of the ministry, um, always say, somebody has to fund those endeavors. And it's not, the mass pooling of small donations helps, but most of the time there's like 2 or 3 huge donors involved. And those huge donors had to create some sort of business style infrastructure or real wealth to be able to do that. So even on the giving side, if you can create, monstrous wealth, you can do those other things that, maybe are the benevolent or altruistic, pushed, where you're like, some people say, I don't want to build a team. I only need so much money for myself. Well, if you build enough wealth with a team, you're creating real wealth within your team. They're paying taxes into the system. They're able to give to charities and causes they care. You're able to pull more off at the top eventually, because everything, it rises to the top, right? And so then if you really don't need that much money, give it to who you think does. I mean, it's your so like you're saying, I do believe that it's a selfish endeavor to say, I want to make as much money as I can possibly make from my house without having anybody else involved that I have to pay anything to. that is kind of selfish. So like to be able to say, I want to involve other people and build and then, give back in other ways. I think one of the best things, I'm a big believer in the book, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, that she tells like the novelistic approach of capitalism versus socialism, and not to get political about it, but what she's saying is like the best thing that you can do for society is take care of yourself. And if each individual person takes care of themselves and tries to build the biggest thing they can, in turn, they're actually going to be taking care of other people by pursuing that, wealth creation. It's not actually selfish to think, I want to build the biggest tower I can, because when you build that big tower, it's going to create more wealth and accumulation for everybody involved. So anyway, yeah, I'm right with you. Interviewing you, the energy level's high, man. I just you radiate energy. You're glowing. Is that the ginger juice? Is that the ginger?
I don't know if you're talking about my skin or just,
dude,
I don't know what you're talking about. In general, the ginger and also the Kangen water.
The Kangen water.
Gosh. The Kangen water. And vegan. Dude, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, like our body is like is our temple, right? And if we're not controlling our health, what we put into our body, then we're not going to be able to perform at peak performance. We're not going to be able to, be in this for the long run. I mean, I don't want to be 60 years old with $10 billion and not able to walk around, not able to run, not able to jog, walk up mountains, go to the beach, whatever it might be. Like, just think of it that way. Like, shoot, like,
yeah,
because you can think of it this way. Like, you take a week or 2 weeks off of the gym, see what your body starts to feel like. See like how you start to feel. Your body's going to start to get tighter. You might add some weight, whatever it might be. But look at it within a week to 2 weeks. But then think of it like, what if I did this for years on years on years on years? Like that build up, like it's just going to destroy your body. So yeah, I'm just a huge health advocate. And
you believe in so you have like a physical routine, or are you always trying to trick your body into not knowing what to expect?
Like physical routine as far as like working out, or
well, I see you in the sauna at like 3:30 in the morning every morning. No, we're an hour earlier though, so you're probably there at like 5:30 some days. But I check it and I'm like, damn, it's 4:30. He's up in the sauna.
That's right. Yeah, I like to be as consistent as disciplined as I can be, because consistency and discipline breed results, right? So I try to get to the gym every single day in the morning they open at 5. If they open at 4, which they usually did before COVID, but get there between like 5:30, and just that's usually how I start my day. But sometimes I might take a few days off. Sometimes I might take a week off, just to, like you said, really shock the body. Mm-hmm. And to just, I'm always curious about like my body, how I react, what allows me to perform at peak performance, and just trying to figure things out. As you said, like doing things differently to see like, hey, am I better here? Am I better there? Removing things from my life. If I remove something from my life, is it beneficial that I removed it, or should I put it back into my life? And that's one of the greatest practices I use myself is, if I see that something might not be working to the extent that I want it to be working, or if I'm just not sure if it works at all, like, hey, I'm going to remove it from my life for about a couple of days. If I see a dramatic change, then there's a good sense that I need to keep doing what I was doing. But if I don't really see much of a change and I see that it might be benefiting me, then it's good that I removed it.
So you're like A/B split testing your body, like the way you would in advertising. So a lot of people watching this will speak like Facebook ads. You A/B split test different, like, oh, this image, this ad copy, which one's working better? You're A/B split test. That's the title of the video. Said how to split test your body.
Oh, I'm always tricking myself. Like, I was on a podcast with my cousin the other week, and we were just talking about being uncomfortable, and he brought back a point and I still do this. I still do this to the day of. He brought back a point where we were traveling somewhere and like I didn't put the AC. It was like 90 plus degrees out, no AC, no windows down, just for the heck of it. And that's literally what I do in life. I do things that are the most uncomfortable to me, the most challenging, and I just continue to do it so that when those challenges, when those uncomfortable moments come up in life, I'm like, dude, I've already done this before. What's next? Come on, what's next? Bring it on. Let's roll. Like, and that's really how we got to build ourselves up. Like, yeah, it's just life.
Yeah.
Take it as it is. It's not what happens, it's how we respond. So I'm literally like
David Goggins.
yeah, I'm pushing myself for fun.
Yeah.
For literally for fun. I'm running in the sand. Like I park like 10 minutes away from a beach spot, right? For example, I parked 10 minutes away because there was no parking. I could either walk in the sand to the seating that I want to sit in, or I can take a quick jog and run just for the heck of it, for the fun. Which am I going to do? I'm going to run. I'm going to jog. And I had like 40 pounds in my book bag, like just a bunch of material and whatnot.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just what it's going to take. I mean, life's uncomfortable. Success is hard, requires massive amounts of hard work. And the universe doesn't want to see us succeed. The universe in general does not want to see us succeed. So it's really important to build up that comfortability with the uncomfortable. As I mean, your brother talks about this a lot. Just
he says that. Yeah, he says you have to get uncomfortable. I don't know if who he was listening to. I'm gonna have to ask him, but it does sound very David Goggins. He's a big believer in pushing everything to the limit to when it just makes everything else easier.
And that's funny. I've never really looked into David Goggins.
He's extremely
he's a monster, but his mouth, like, I don't mind people swearing, but man,
he gets a little rough.
He's
on the
sailor.
Yeah, it's that Navy SEAL, and then I get accused of that sometimes, but it's because the Marine Corps really. It's funny, like I can adapt. I'll be sitting when I was selling insurance, like I'd never say anything bad in front of clients, but then I'd be in front of somebody else that just seemed like and like when I'm talking to you, I'm not talking that way. It's almost like it depends on who I'm talking to, the way that comes out. It's not that I'm planning it; it's just natural, But no, I'm trying to get. Actually, there was a guy on Brad Lee's podcast, and Brad Lee's got a mouth on him too. But he had a guy on his podcast the other day. Johnny was listening to. Johnny pulled away discipline, willpower, intention, and it's like a play on words: discipline, willpower, intention. Anyway, but he said something in the interview that he quit. He told himself he was going to quit swearing, and he said he was talking about having deadlines with consequences. That's what it was. Deadlines with consequences. So if you want to do something, it's like if you're really faithful and really religious, you would tell God, I'm going to do this. And that would mean something to you because you told God. But if it's people that hold you accountable, maybe you tell it to the world, I'm going to do X on this date. And I never thought about it, but I've done that. Like when I said I was going to have Medicare Con, it was just like, we're going to do Medicare Con. And Cody's done this, like Cody with 8%, like basically Grant Cardone told him he should have a conference. So he was like, all right, we're doing it this day. Like no planning, didn't even book the place before he announced where it was, like all kinds of stuff. But there's a point, it's like when you put it out to the world and then you don't do it, the consequences, you look like a dumbass. And
dude,
so
I've done that so many times. Put your goals out there, put your targets out there, put what you're doing out there. Yeah. And literally it's going to pull you forward. It's going to make you more committed to what you're doing, because if you're sharing that with someone else, if you're putting that into the public, like you said, like if you don't follow through and you don't complete that, like you're going to be like, shoot, like look like a loser,
Absolutely. And nobody wants to look like nobody, especially and the more people more attention you have from people, and you have attention because people see what you're doing, and they're drawn to it. They're drawn to having good energy and positivity and not feeling like things are limited, and they're drawn to the amount of production you do because you have those things. So, but when people watch you and then you tell them something, you feel an obligation to the people that are following you to do what you said you were going to do, or it's going to give them a cop out to not do things that they've set out to do. So, and that's the way I feel. I feel like an obligation now that if I don't do something, first, I'm going to look like a loser. and then second, I'm giving them a cop out to look like a loser. And that's just hurting the whole world, all the way around. So, dude, I appreciate you coming on here, man. We're trying to do a whole lot more of these interviews because people seem to like them. The dialogue is good. And sometimes it's hard for us to sit around and think of something to monologue on. But when you get together with people like yourself, I think good things and good notions just pour out in
it just
that
flows. Yeah, it flows. Yeah. That's why I love. I've never. I think only a few times someone sent me over questions. Even when they do send me over questions, I don't even look at them. Like I like to go off the top. I like to literally just be.
Yeah.
I mean, not really authentic. Obviously, I'm authentic, but just off the top, just.
Yeah. Normally, if I do anything, I say, send me a bio and a headshot, and the headshot's more for the thumbnail, but the bio is just give me something to help start the conversation. I didn't even ask you for the any of that because I've been around you a little bit, so I was like, we're gonna have some stuff to talk about, and it'll get flowing naturally. So, but really, I was excited to have you on. I'm sure we'll have you back on in the future. And this will be on the Gurunomics podcast on Apple and Spotify soon as well. So people will be able to pick it up there. So if you haven't subscribed to Gurunomics, please do that. Ryan Loede, if people are looking for you, looking to get on, I know they can find you on Instagram. You're real active on Instagram. Is there any other way? Is RyanLoede.com?
Yep, RyanLoede.com as well. RyanLoede.com.
Perfect.
And then also Facebook, Ryan Loede.
Yeah, I can tell you guys, as just an open endorsement, not a lot of people that, I mean, there are some, but not a lot of people that I would trust more that this dude's going to be honest with you. If he can't help you, he's going to point you in the right direction. And nothing he's going to say to you or recommend is going to hurt you in any way. Just a genuine guy that wants to get to the top, doing the right thing and helping people put them in a better place. And he's working his ass off to get there and happy about it. So, boom, FaceTime. Hey. Battery died in my EOS, but that's all right, guys. We'll check you out next time. Thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate it.